Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Lakshmi. I can hear you.
Good.
Good morning.
Hi, friends. Hi, Alie. Thank you. So
Do a brief sound check.
okay, brief sound check for everyone.
Okay, Ali, are you ready to do sound check?
Okay.
Well, Lee and Ariane, you wanna?
You're muted. You have to unmute.
That it's our turn. It is our turn now.
Yeah.
Yes, your turn.
I'm sorry. I muted you. I'm going to mute everybody except for Wally and Ariane because then I can hear you guys better.
Okay.
So of course, we start with the singing, okay, and the guitar.
Hasratinayat kadas Allahu sirahu. Hasratinayat kadas Allahu sirahu. Ishkalama butlila.
Beautiful. That was great. Halima, we can't hear you right now, so go ahead and unmute. It was loud enough for me. What does everybody else think?
Speaking voice also?
Good
Good.
level.
Enough?
Okay,
Yeah.
Think fine.
Beautiful. Sounded
Good.
beautiful.
Okay. Should we go?
Yeah, why don't you go next and I'll mute Wally and Ariane.
Okay. What do you want to do?
We'll do the start for out there.
Okay.
Start for Allah. Start for Allah. Start for Allah. Allah. Start for Allah. Start for Allah.
So your internet.
I just turned on the original sound.
Great. And your internet is unstable. Are you plugged into the cord?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Let's give it a minute. We'll come back to you. Let's pop over to Lakshmi. Lakshmi, are you going to sing? We can't hear you yet, Lakshmi. Can you unmute? There you go. Thank you.
Yeah. I am going to sing with no instrument.
Okay, why don't you give that a try right now?
Okay. So, Ana Elna Refana La. Ana Elna Refana La.
Beautiful. That sounds great. And
sounds
then can you just speak a little bit more, like maybe start the invocation?
Okay. In Spanish?
Either.
Sure. Okay. Hacia el uno, la perfección del amor, la armonía y la belleza.
Perfect. How does that sound, everybody else? 2 thumbs if it's good. Perfect. Okay. Let's go over to Aliela. You can unmute.
Good afternoon, everyone. So let's try the guitar sound. It's okay? Good.
That's great. Can you
say yes or no?
Yep, it's great. It sounds good. Can you just
Adama אני מרגיש זו בגופי, ברוחי ונשמתי. Is a
Beautiful.
good balance, not too loud, my singing? No?
Yeah, it sounds good.
Okay.
Everybody else, do you guys think it's good? Perfect. Okay, let's go back to Halima and Abraham.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Hi there. So our internet thing is fluttering. So that's the way it is. Unless we go to the other house.
No, I think so. When you were singing before, your little bar was yellow and then red, so it disconnected, but now you're green. So you should be good. It was just like
All
the
right.
moment where you were singing it broke.
Well, let's see what
Okay.
happens.
Allah will help
Okay.
us.
Try. Let's do the astaghfirullah.
Astaghfirullah,
Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah. Allah. Okay.
That's great. Yeah, and your voices, everybody seems to be at the same voices level, so that's great.
Okay.
So the sequence
Here's the sequence. So sorry to not have sent you
flow chart.
a flow chart, but here it is. Okay. So we will open with a chant, and then and we'll do that about 8 minutes of the hour, so that people arrive to the chant,
Yep.
and then we'll greet everybody and say the invocation. So Lakshmi, will you do the invocation in Spanish? So also the other day you did the invocation. Could you unmute everybody, please? Everybody unmute
Mm-hmm.
so we can talk to each other. Yeah. You did the invocation in some other language.
Yes, I did the invocation in Quechua, which is one of the languages spoken not only in
Yeah.
Ecuador, but in the Andean area.
Okay. Maybe we would ask you to do that also, but not back to back. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Okay.
Or someone else could do Spanish.
Yeah, or someone else could do Spanish. Let's see who comes.
I think that's good.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll see who comes.
Okay. And
Um,
Wally and Ariane will do in Dutch.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're quite fluent in Dutch.
Thank you.
All right, very good.
And Aliella, today you will do Hebrew,
Is that right? Okay.
and someone will do
We'll
Russian.
we'll trust that someone else will come to do Russian.
Okay.
If no one else is there from Russia, will you do Russian also?
Someone will be there.
Okay.
Okay, great. Okay, and we'll do English. All right.
And the sequence.
And
And,
Alié, do you
may
want
I-
to sign?
We probably will have some people from Germany as well.
Okay, great.
Good. So we'll do German too.
Yeah.
Do you know who might be coming? So
Yeah, that's Andrea.
is that
Andrea.
a man or a woman?
A
A
woman.
woman and Ingrid.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Those two have written us.
Which one should we call on?
When
Whatever
I-
you choose.
Yeah.
No, I don't care. I don't know.
We also don't care.
Okay, fine.
Do you think either one of them will be okay with it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
both will be okay.
Okay, fine.
Very good.
Alia, you look for them.
Okay.
Andrea and Ingrid, both women.
Yes.
Both women. Yeah,
Great.
right.
Or one
If you
or.
make a choice, choose Andrea.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
will make okay.
Okay,
we
so
will make a
Andrea.
choice if they both come. Okay. Great.
Sequence.
So here's the sequence. So we do the invocation, and then Abraham will lead the and a welcome. We'll do a welcome and the invocation, and then Abraham will lead the elemental breaths. And when we finish that, we'll pass the ball to
I thought-
Aliella.
I thought you were going to do a Astaghfirullah there.
No, that comes
Oh.
before Lakshmi.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, you're right.
Okay,
All right.
right.
Then to Aliella.
So then to Aliella, who's doing a chant with the elements, yeah, and whatever else you want to do with them. Okay? Yeah. And then it will come back to us, and we'll do a stock for Allah, but talking about it as purification of the heart, kind of coming into our original nature.
Okay.
And-
And then Lakshmi will take it from there.
Yeah, okay, Lakshmi?
Okay. Yes.
Okay, and you're gonna at some point do Ana Elna, right?
Yes. I probably will finish with the chant.
Okay.
Nice.
When you do that, what's your interpretation for it?
What I'm centered from what I'm gonna do just a bit before, I am feeling the power that is on prayer. Praying for the well-being of and with so much love for something. So it can either be the sister, or it can be a friend, or it can be the mother. So I'm gonna kind of open up the
Great.
intention. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Okay.
Okay.
And then it will come back to us, and then we'll introduce. I don't think we'll lead a lot, but we'll introduce you, Wally and Ariane,
Briefly.
and yeah, just to welcome you.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And
and
then
then I.
Petaluma will
Well,
share a
it's
poem
I
at the
forgot that. Yep, I asked Petaluma
end. At the
to
end.
share a poem that she wrote about the earth.
And I let her in to do a sound check. She's in the waiting room.
Sure.
Sure.
She doesn't know that.
And then it'll come back to us. We'll close. Probably with Loka.
Ah,
Hi, Petaluma.
Hello. Hello.
can you do a sound check?
Yes.
Great.
Earth. It is not really an it. It is a community held together by the hidden lace of the garden it sustains, alive with millions. Blah, blah, blah. How does that sound?
Beautiful.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and everybody can unmute themselves right now who's in the room, and then we'll finish
Okay.
our prep.
Okay.
I think that should come towards the end.
Yeah.
We thought maybe, depending on time, we'll do Loka, but we don't know yet. After your poem,
Yeah.
but if maybe we'll see where we're at with time. Seems like a full program.
Thank you all. Let me say thank you for bringing your gifts and sharing them with the world the way we will do together. Let's have fun.
And
Thank you.
Aliye, I forwarded the words from Wally and Ariane. Did you get that?
Yeah, I have words from Aliella and Wally and Ariane. Is there
Great.
anybody else that's sending words?
No, we don't need them.
I mean, you know how to spell stock for Allah when we get there, right?
I know
You
one
can-
of
you
the ways to spell it.
That's fine. That would be
that's,
fine.
That's the way we'll do it.
Great, perfect. And then just to recap,
Yeah.
the overview, Halima, we have elemental breaths, Aliella, back to you guys, Halima,
Yep.
Lakshmi, Wally
Yep.
and Ariane, Petaluma, back to you.
No, back to us before to introduce Wally and Ariane.
Everyone, we come back to us
Every
In
time.
between.
Yep.
Brief,
Every time.
short.
Okay, great. I just want to make sure that my order
Yeah,
of
that's
people
good.
was
Yeah.
good.
Thank you. That's good.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Okay,
it's
it's
us,
time.
and then Aliella, us, Lakshmi, us, Wally and Ariane, us, Petaluma.
Perfect.
At the least, we'll
Yeah.
just simply pass the ball.
Great. I have the same, so I'll just follow you. And I'm
Great.
going to go ahead and mute. Everybody else is muted. We're recording. And Abraham, you can start.
Bismillah.
Thank you.
La ilaha illallah. Allah, Allah, Allah. La ilaha illallah. Allah, Allah, Allah. Ya Hamid, Ya Shakur, Ya Hamid, Ya Shakur, Abdul Shakurun. La ilaha illallah. Allah, Allah, Allah. La ilaha illallah. Allah, Allah, Allah. Ya Hamid, Ya Shakur, Ya Hamid, Ya Shakur, Abdul Shakurun. La ilaha illallah. Allah, Allah, Allah. La ilaha illallah. Allah, Allah, Allah. Ya Hamid, Ya Shakur, Ya Hamid, Ya Shakur, Abdul Shakur. Expressing our gratitude. La ilaha illallah. Allah, Allah, Allah. La ilaha illallah. Allah, Allah, Allah. Ya Hamid, Ya Shakur, Ya Hamid, Ya Shakur, Abdul Shakur. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome, friends. We invoke the presence of being here now and of expressing our gratitude that we can be of service in the way that's perfect for each of us in the way that we are.
Ya Hamid, Ya Shakur, Ya Hamid, Ya Shakur, Abdul Shakurun. La ilaha illallah. Allah, Allah, Allah. La ilaha illallah. Allah, Allah, Allah. Ya Hamid, Ya Shakur, Ya Hamid, Ya Shakur, Abdul Shakur. La ilaha illallah. Allah, Allah, Allah. La ilaha illallah. Allah, Allah, Allah. Ya Hamid, Ya Shakur, Ya Hamid, Ya Shakur, Abdul Shakur. La ilaha illallah. Allah, Allah, Allah. Ya Shakur, Ya Hamid, Ya Shakur, Abdul Shakur. La ilaha illallah, Allah, Allah, Allah. La ilaha illallah, Allah, Allah, Allah. Ya Hamid, Ya Shakur, Ya Hamid, Ya Shakur, Abdul Shakur. La ilaha illallah, Allah, Allah, Allah. La ilaha illallah, Allah, Allah, Allah. Ya Hamid, Ya Shakur, Ya Hamid, Ya Shakur, Abdul Shakur. La ilaha illallah, Allah, Allah, Allah. La ilaha illallah, Allah, Allah, Allah. Ya Hamid, Ya Shakur, Ya Hamid, Ya Shakur, Abdul Shakur.
Ooh. Hello, friends. Welcome. Welcome. So let's invite ourselves to be completely present in this moment. Feeling your breath. Feeling the rhythm of your heart. And feeling yourself connected to earth, grounded, present. So you can actually, imagine that your feet are like roots that go down, touching to the ground. You draw that strength up into your heart, into your breath. And feeling our heart, opening the wings of our heart and reaching around to everyone in our circle. And, in our circle now there are people from way across the ocean. We're on multiple continents. So opening our hearts wide, touching breath and heart space together. Let's say the invocation. We'll say it in English.
Toward the One, the perfection of love, harmony, and beauty, the only being, united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the Master, the Spirit of guidance.
And let's go to Colombia, and I see our friend Sylvia is.
En español, por favor.
If you would. You have to unmute yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Sylvia. Thank you.
Hacia el uno, la perfección del amor, la armonía y la belleza, el ser único, unido a todas las almas iluminadas que forman el cuerpo del Maestro, el cuerpo del mensaje, del milagro, del misterio y de la madre, el Espíritu. Amén.
Gracias.
Okay. Let's go to our friends Wally and Ariane, who will share in Dutch.
Tot de ene, de volmaaktheid van liefde, harmonie en schoonheid. Het enige wezen, verenigd met alle verlichte zielen, die de belichaming vormen van de Meester, de geest van leiding.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to Ecuador. We can travel so quickly on this Zoom. Let's go to Ecuador with our friend Lakshmi, who
We'll
will
share in
share.
Quechua.
Yeah.
I still have to read it. But Nyukamang, Pakta Pakta Kuyay, Yanantin Sumakay, Kairuna Tandachish Katukui, Achik Samay Kunata, Yachachikpa Uku, Tukun Samay Mi Pushak. Amen.
Gracias.
Aliela.
Okay, let's go to Aliela
In Hebrew.
in Hebrew, please. In Russia, you are in Russia, but you're going to share in Hebrew.
לאחד השלמות של אהבה תפארת ויופי. ליחיד המאחד בתוכו את כל הנשמות הנאורות, המעצרות את התגלמות האומן, הרוח הקודש.
Thank you. And Kalika, I see that you are here, and I wonder if you could unmute and do it in Russian.
По-русски, пожалуйста, Калика.
Единому, совершенству любви, гармонии и красоты, единственно сущему, объединяясь со всеми просветленными душами, которые образуют воплощение мастера, путеводный дух.
Спасибо.
Thank you. Let's see. Prem, if you can unmute and share in Maori, that would be beautiful.
E mihi ana, ki te kautahi tangapure, ko ia hoki te tino tamata o te aroha, o te whakaritahi me te atahua. Kaori hei tangata, ko atu I aia. E whakakataitea ki ngā wairua tūrama katoa. Ko rata nei ti whakatinanatanga, o rata kua whetu rangitia, o tanaka arataki.
Let's see.
Andrea in German.
Yes, if you, Andrea, if you could unmute and share in German.
Dem einen entgegen, der Vollkommenheit, der Liebe, der Harmonie und der Schönheit, dem einzig Seienden, vereint mit all den erleuchteten Seelen, die dem Meister den Geist der Führung verkörpern.
Dankeschön.
Thank you. I think that covers our...
And sign.
Yeah. Okay, Aliye. Would you sign? Thank you.
Toward the one, the perfection of love, harmony, and beauty, the only being united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the message, the mother, the spirit of guidance.
Thank you. Okay, let's.
Bismillah, Rahman, Rahim. Friends, it is such a joy and opportunity to be together this way, to hear the world represented in so many different languages and continents. And we each make our contribution. It's a beautiful harmony. At the heart of the whole experience of being human is our breath. This is also our unifying, the unifier of the whole of reality, as the breath from God that flows through us and from us. And so we, in our teaching, we focus very much on the breath and learning to breathe in the rhythm of the life that we live, and learning to learn from our breath how to tune to the whole world. So we tune through the practice of Vinayat Khan to the elements, and using the breath to connect with our elemental nature and invoke healing, that we become in our lives an agent of healing. And so we will do a series of breaths. The first breath is in through the nose, out through the nose. We're invoking healing on the in-breath through the phrase Ya Shafi, and the out-breath Ya Kafi. And we're invoking healing for the earth element of our nature, our bones, our the ground of our being, the earth itself, the gardens, the rock, the stability, that we become a part of the stability of the universe. The next breath, we're breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, invoking healing for the water element of our nature. In our body, it's our blood, the fluids that bring nourishment to all the cells. And this is the water of life that through the rain and through the lakes and the rivers and the ocean sustains and nourishes life. And we invoke that fluidity in our own being, that feeling quality. Ya Shafi on the in-breath, Ya Kafi on the out-breath. Next breath, in through the mouth, out through the nose. The element of fire, a rising breath, the purifying alchemy of transforming our being, becoming beings of light through this alchemy. Next breath, in through the mouth, out through the mouth. Refined breath, invoking healing for the air element of our nature, the wings of our heart, our capacity to be lifted up spiritually. And the last breath of this cycle, the ether breath, the breath of stillness, the synthesis of all the elements, breathing through the nose and the mouth and the skin of the whole body, but without any motion. It's an inward breath. This is the mystic's breath opening the inner life. Invoking healing for our atmosphere, our aura, our light body. And the prayer, Nayaz gives a seal to the practice. Let's travel around the world with the prayer. Perhaps we'll begin with, in Russia, Aliella, and then we'll go to Nurjahan in Spanish, and then we'll go to Germany where Wali and Ariane will share it in English. So Aliella first.
Возлюбленный Господь, всемогущий Бог, лучами солнца, волнами воздуха, всепроникающий в пространстве жизнью, очисти и оживи нас, и мы молим, исцели наши тела, сердца и души. Аминь.
To Chile, Nurjahan.
Amado Dios, Diosa, todopoderosos, a través de los rayos del sol, a través de las ondas del aire, a través de la vida que todo lo impregna en el espacio, purifícanos y revivifícanos y te rogamos que sanes nuestros cuerpos, corazones y almas. Amén.
To Germany.
Beloved Lord, Almighty God, through the rays of the sun, through the waves of the air, through the all-pervading life in space, purify and revivify us, and we pray, heal our bodies, hearts and souls. Amen.
Thank you, friends. So we would like to continue our journey with our friend Aliella. And so, when we gather together in a circle, what makes it a circle is when we each do the practice in our own heart. And that's how we build the temple that is worldwide. It's universal. It's actually infinitely big. That each one of us is a pillar of that. And so we'll go to Aliella, who's holding that pillar so beautifully in Moscow.
Thank you. Can you hear me? All right. Greetings of the heart to everyone. And let's stay in this beautiful atmosphere, which reminds us of our nature, which belongs to 4 elements, and the same elements of one creation is the earth, fire, water, and air. So when we're thinking about how beautifully they're manifested in our body, spirit and soul, we can think not just about particular systems in our physical body, but also about something eternal, like Earth, sacred Earth, mother of all, sacred ground we're made of, the primary substance of our nature. And the air can be associated with the sky, with our heavenly homeland, and the fire in its highest manifestation. We can think about love. And when we're speaking about water, perhaps it can be everlasting, flowing, pure compassion, something very clear. So let's name these elements in Hebrew, because there is a beautiful chant which I want to share with you, and it has also the movement, so we can do sort of body prayer. So we will name, instead of earth, we will say Adama. Adama. And just to let you know, the word man in Hebrew is Adam. So someone who made of earth, of ground. So Adama, and then we say Shamayim, which means sky, but also can be associated with the air and with the spiritual freedom. So Adama, Veshamayim. Now we say Chom Aesh. So Esh is a fire, spirit of fire. It's always rushes up. Chom Aesh. And we say Tlil Amayim. Tlil Amayim. Mayim is the water, which always flows down. Do we have the words in the chat? Ale, please, can you put it on the chat? So let's say again. Adama Veshamayim. Chom Aesh. Tlil Amayim. And one more phrase. Ani margish zu begufi. It means I feel it in my body. Ani margish zu begufi. Baruchi in my spirit, ve nishmati in my soul. So nishmati, my soul, it's we have different words for different levels of the soul in Jewish spiritual tradition. So the neshama, neshamti, it's particular level which, despite all our life experiences, always still remains crystal clear, conscious of its divine nature. So let's say again, Ani margish zu begufi, baruchi ve nishmati. I feel it in my body, in my spirit, in my soul. So let's try to sing. It's always better with the music. אדמה ושמיים, אדמה ושמיים, חום האש, תליל המים, תליל המים, אני מרגיש זו בגופי, ברוחי ונשמתי. Once more. אדמה ושמיים, חום אני מרגיש זו בגופי, ברוחי ונשמתי. And then we will sing something like Heya, 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 which is already not in Hebrew, but belongs to Native American people. But we are all, all relations, all one family. So we can turn out our palms, turn towards the ground, and if you want even to go forward and back or just on the place, you can feel your feet on the ground, and we are giving the blessing to sacred Mother Earth. Heya, 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 heya. Heya, 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 opening up ourselves to the sky, to the Shamayim. Heya, 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 hey. Heya, 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 hey. Heya, 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 hey. Heya, 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 heya. Heya, 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 hey. And then Adama, Adama, Veshamayim, just remind you of the movements. Chom Aesh, Tlil Amayim, Ani Margish Zu Begufi, Beruchi, Venishmati. So let's try to deepen into this meditation, and then to realize even more that we are all parts of the one sacred body, one life, one creation, in spite of we're separated with our individual bodies, but it's sort of an illusion. Adama Veshamayim, חום האש, תליל המים, אני מרגיש זו בגופי, ברוחי ונשמתי. אדמה ושמיים, חום האש, תליל המים, אני מרגיש זו בגופי, ברוחי ושמיים, חום האש, תליל המים, אני מרגיש זו בגופי, ברוחי ונשמתי, אדמה ושמיים, חום האש, תליל המים, אני מרגיש זו בגופי, ברוחי ונשמתי. Let's put it on the breath, sending gratitude to the earth and to the sky, to the fire element, to the waters. Feeling this in our bodies, in our hearts. This is some mystery of our being. On the ground. ושמיים, חום האש, תליל המים, אני מרגיש זו בגופי, ברוחי ונשמתי, אדמה ושמיים, חום האש, תליל המים, אני מרגיש זו בגופי, ברוחי ונשמתי, חיה 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 One more time, אדמה ושמיים, חום האש, תליל המים, אני מרגיש זו בגופי, ברוחי ונשמתי. Let's take a few more breaths together. One breath we will dedicate to the earth element with a gratitude from the bottom of our heart, and another to the water element. And one more to the fire element. And our blessings and gratitude to the air element in our being, in our existence, in our body, heart and soul.
So continuing with the breath, body, heart, and soul. We're going to continue with a practice of purifying the heart. Or you could say, since the heart in its true nature is pure, we just clean, let the action of our prayer remove whatever can be removed, and what remains is pure presence and pure heart. We're going to use the beautiful word astaghfirullah, and it has a root from one of the words that means forgiveness. It's in the forgiveness. Cluster Yagafar and Yagafur. It has that astaghfirullah. You can hear it in that sound. And in the desert world, one of its roots is that bag of water or the leather bag that you use to carry water. And to carry water, it needs to be supple and strong and flexible. And so we think of our heart that way, as strong and flexible and able to carry the water of our life. So, astaghfirullah. May we come into the pure presence of our being. Astaghfirullah. And we can just circle our heart as a prayer movement, feeling your heart. And opening your breath. Like rubbing honey into your heart so that it's supple.
Astaghfirullah.
So on the breath, just feeling your heart, its pure nature, filling with light. And we empty ourself of ourself. So you might make the movements small, so you really just feel your heart and your breath. We're circling our heart and opening, emptying of self and rising, filling with light into the heart. Astaghfirullah, 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 Allah, Astaghfirullah, 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 Allah, Let's open our who sound. Feel it reaching everyone's heart, reaching all our relations, reaching all the life, all the planet.
Connecting with each other in the one heart.
The big each other. Ooh. other's hearts. Ooh, our friends in Russia. Ooh, our friends in Vermont. Our friends in Boston. Our friends in New Zealand. Our friends in California. Our friends in North Carolina. Ooh, our friends in Chile and Colombia and Ecuador. Ooh, in Germany and in Holland. Ooh, in upstate New York and more in New Zealand, all around the world. Send your breath far. Ooh, Florida. Ooh. Mm. Amin, amin, amin. So now we'd like to travel together to our friend Lakshmi, who's in Ecuador. And thank you, Lakshmi, so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you, all beloveds, for having this opportunity to be together. How precious that is in these times. So yes, from the same breath of purification, purification to me resounds as healing, harmonizing, being able to balance and to take out what is using space that could be used for something else. And this comes from, it can begin with accepting a condition in which we feel broken or hardened or undeserving. So many things that can contract us. And like Aliela was saying, feeling all this in our bodies, which are the means of beautiful experiences in this life, but also this cover that separates us. So so many things can come into us from storaging all these things that we really don't need to hang on to. And in those moments, we feel like, what do we do? What do we do? You know, it's, what can I hold on to? Where can I take refuge? What can protect me? And I find it so beautiful that these breathing practices that we've just done with Abraham and also with Aliela, and now with the Astaghfirullah, with Halima, brings us to this homework, I call it. I think, I feel that we know already everything we need to do, but we just need to remember it. And so these gatherings, for instance, for me, are that means of remembrance. And so remembering what is our foundation, remembering that which is holding us and supporting us all the time, remembering remembering that we are standing on something all the time. We're not floating, we're not just loose. And sometimes that illusion is making us feel lost, and disconnected. But we really need to hold on to our faith. Our faith is linked to our foundation. And our foundation is also symbolized and is the earth itself. Mm. And so maybe we can just go back for a few minutes into our breath again and breathe through our nose, in and out. Being aware of this connection, that it's always there, whether we remember or not. Our mother is always there to embrace us, to support us. To hold us. Feel her support right now while you're breathing. Let yourself be on the earth, with the earth. Let her hold you with her love. The love that she is always giving us comes from her support, unconditional. And we have that same nature in ourselves, to exercise that support, that love with ourselves in the first place, so we know how it is. So we know what it does and how it heals. Then expanding it to our families, to our communities, to whoever is in need of this love through support. We are the earth. She is in us. Remember, she's always there. We always have the possibility to pray. This possibility of praying is so powerful. And if we pray from our heart, I'm sure anything we pray for will be heard. And that feeling also of being able to say what we need, knowing that we are heard, is already healing us. So I'm going to sing to you shortly this begging from Moses, his prayer begging Allah to take care of his sister. And we can take this prayer right now in this present moment for each of us to pray for anything we need. We are free. We are face to face with Allah every time, surrounding us in all the manifestation. So if you can feel deep inside of you right now, what is it that you need the most? You can pray for it. We will extend this prayer to the earth, to all of us, to the whole universe, to whatever is in need of support, of love, of healing, of purification. Ana Elna Refana La Ana Elna Refana 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 keeping that prayer in your heart. Keep breathing in connection with the Mother. Remember that we can transform at any moment what is oppressing us into another manifestation of the face of Allah. We have the capacity to awake and love. We do have that capacity to be love, because love is a practice. Amen.
Yes, love is a practice. Yeah. Thank you, Lakshmi, for the sincerity of your prayer. I feel the love in the practice. And thank you so much, Aliella, for the depth of sincerity in the practice you shared. Love is the practice. And I want to express gratitude to our friends Wali and Ariane. They have been practicing love together for a long time with the dances. And I've always admired how they are bounce off each other. They are a team in a beautiful way. Halim and I aspire to the same practice of love in how we share these practices. And it's a great honor that you're able to join us and bring the depth of your own practice and training
and heart
and deep heart to how we are together here. So we ask you to continue in this practice of love.
Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, love is the practice, and for me, this practice, I'm so grateful for all the teachings of love from Hazrat Inayat Khan on my path, and to really to feel this in myself, and that's my inspiration, and that's from where I go, and that's from where we go. So let's for now again attune and concentrate on the teachings of Pir Murshid Hazrat Inayat Khan.
Yes, and I'd like to go way back to my early childhood. I didn't know the word meditation. This is maybe a remembrance when I wasn't even able to read or write. But I remember sitting at a pond near our house and just watching the water. And I realized when a pebble fell in the water that the ripples were going on continuously. And at some point I couldn't see the ripples anymore, but I knew they would go on and on and on until the end of the pond, and then bounce back and come back again. And this is a very well-known image, but it stayed with me because, as I said, this came to me in what I now would call a meditation or contemplation before I even could read or write. So it sort of was something inside of me that stayed with me. And when preparing for our contribution this evening for us, morning for some of you, I realized that I owe and we owe so much to the pebble rock boulder that Iniyat Khan carefully placed in the big pond that we call life. And I think all of us are here together because of that big boulder that he put in the water, and that influenced Samuel Lewis, and he again influenced our hosts Abraham and Halima, and they again influenced us and other people, and the ripples go on and on and on and on. As Iniyat Khan says, may the message of God reach far and wide. So not really knowing what the other contributors would do, somehow it all comes together in some of the sayings of Iniyat Khan. In 1924, in the summer school, Suran, he said to his murids, his students, the work which we are doing just now is that of making a building in which to preserve the message for the time when humanity will be awakened to appreciate it, to value it, that it may not be too difficult to find it, for it is preserved somewhere in the building that we make. And what is this building? It is the building which may be called, in other words, an embodiment of the illuminated souls. Its parts and particles are those who are born to serve God and humanity, who are meant to give their life to the service of the cause. And it is this building which is a sacred temple. And it is this building to which our life and our work is dedicated. Desire for work is not enough. The understanding of the law of harmony with one's co-workers is most necessary. And then he goes on and he's saying, all we need is we have to trust the architect. 1 year later, he continued in the same vein, and he said, I wish to say a few words on the subject of our efforts in constructing something. We have come together, brought together by destiny in friendship, in sympathy, in love, and this must have a special meaning. And that meaning, that special meaning, is that we are constructing something. We are building something in the air. And this building is not building for a certain time. This building is built for centuries to come. It is our thoughts and our feelings which will serve in this temple as stones and bricks and tiles. And it is our feeling which will hold this temple for centuries to come. Every murid has a contribution to make to this temple. And the best contribution we can make is devotion, faith, sincere service, sympathy, friendship. But then one starts to think, why is it that there is so much talk about a temple to be made on the earth? Because he was talking about building a universal, an actual physical building. Why do we need to do that? And the answer is that everything that is to be built on a spiritual plane is finished when it is also built on the physical plane. And then 1 year later, in 26, his last summer school, because he was to die in January 27, he actually laid the foundation stone for the Universal, and underneath the stone students placed coins. Everyone placed a coin from their own country, and on top of that, and then a document testifying what was done was laid there and then the stone was laid. And as we know, he never lived to see the physical building, but there has been built at least 4 universals later on. So when I meditated on these words of Inayat Khan, I thought, isn't that beautiful that we are the stones, the tiles, we together, our thoughts, our actions, our feelings, we together make that building, not just for ourselves, but for our fellow and sister human beings, and for all sentient beings, for that matter, for Mother Earth, for the world too. And it all comes together in thinking that this physical building, of course, is made of earth. He talks about a building of air. And so all these elements are needed to construct this building, but it only becomes a reality if it's also in a physical form, just as the Sangha we are in now, as a result of this big boulder, big stone that Inayat Khan put in the water, is a physical reality. At least we can see each other and hear each other on the physical level, even if it's not together in one room. And then I thought, stones is not enough, bricks is not enough, tiles is not enough. We need a binding component. And that binding component cannot be but love. Love is an action, love is a verb, and love is the constructing element and the binding element that holds the whole universe together. And Inayat Khan expressed this in his, I think all of you would know this, his, what he called his Sufi creed, Ishq Allah, Mabud Lillah. And this means literally, God is love, God is the beloved. And he later said, for me it means God is love, lover and beloved, which means on the highest level you cannot talk of love anymore, because everything is love. It all becomes love. The action, the subject, the object and the verb, it all becomes one. And this comes from the depth of his heart. And the depth of the heart of a mystic, Aliela already mentioned, there are different levels of the soul, there are different levels of the heart, and from the kalp, the surface of the heart, we can go to the ruch, to the middle part of the heart, and the highest part of the heart is called sir, secret. And there is even a higher part, which is the secret of secrets. And this is the place where the mystics go to in order to converse with God. But you cannot call it converse, it's to unite with God. And secret doesn't mean that it's a secret because we shouldn't talk about it. It's a secret because you cannot talk about it. There are no words anymore on that level. And after his passing, now let's say it in a different way. We'd like to share with you a chant. You may not know the words, but that's fine. They will be in the chat box. And but all of you have seen the words in Arabic, because this is the calligraphy, and you've seen it on the invitation that Halima and Abraham sent to all of us. Right at the bottom, you see this the calligraphy of the heart, and the words, Ariane will take over now, the words of this calligraphy are the words that we will share with you. And to this we will add the Ishkalam Mabut Lila.
So the Arabic words are Ya Hasrat Inayat Kadas Allahu Sirahu. Ya Hasrat Inayat Kadas Allahu Sirahu, meaning may the secret of Hasrat Inayat Khan be sanctified and preserved. And we combine this with the secret for Inayat Khan in the depth of his heart was Ishq Allah Mabut Lila, the different phases of love. God is love, lover and beloved. Ya Hasrat Inayat Kadas Allahu Sirahu, Ishq Allah Mabut Lila. And let's pray together and bring it into a body prayer, awakening, invoking the presence of Hasrat Inayat Khan. So we start with a slow Hasrat to the left and then back into the center and to the right. And for the Ishq Allah Mabut Lila, we do the zikr movement, Ishq Allah Mabut Lila. And then we dive into the depth of our heart, Ishq Allah. So let's invoke the presence of Pir Murshid Hasrat Inayat Khan.
Hasrat Inayat Kadas Allahu Sirahu. Ya Hasrat Inayat Kadas Allahu Sirahu.
And let's continue on the breath. Breathing in the inspiration from Hazrat Inayat Khan. And fill your heart with this inspiration. And then breathe out from the heart this inspiration into the world. Into the heart, this inspiration. Out from the heart, this inspiration into the world. And may the secret, the love of Hazrat Inayat Khan be sanctified and preserved in our heart, in the depth of our heart, the depth of love. Amen.
Ishq, Allah, Ma'bud, Allah, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah. So if we were to go on gallery view, we'd see one way you build a temple. And each person here holds a pole, a post. One power of circle, power of Sangha. And we know that each person here is also holding, we're circles within circles within circles, turning. There's real strength in feeling the power that we tap into when we open to each other and to there's the vertical and then there's the horizontal. Horizontal holds each of us together. So Inayat Khan wrote this beautiful poem, or not poem, it's a prayer. Maybe all poems are also prayers. Thou who art the maker, molder and builder of the universe, build with thine own hands the universal, our temple, for thy divine message of love, harmony, and beauty. Say it one more time. Thou who art the maker, molder, and builder of the universe, build with thine own hands the universal, our temple, for thy divine message of love, harmony, and beauty. I don't think the physical temple will ever gets made until there's people's hearts are ripe. And, it's up to each of us to lay the cornerstone for that wherever we are. Yeah. So there's a beautiful poem that I'd like to share before we close, and it's written by our friend Petaluma, and so I will call on her to read it. Would you please, Petaluma, or to share it?
Another inspiration.
Yeah.
So this, I have a series of poems up for each element, and this one is Earth. Earth. It is not really an it. It is a community held together by the hidden lace of the garden it sustains, alive with millions, all contributing to its slow magic, the crumble of creation, the source, the process, the outcome, all dead, tucked in dearly, worm weavers, mushroom hush. It is the inevitable. We need it. We are it. We swing around a while in bones and skin, reveling as our feet detach from it. But this dance will end soon. It feeds our food. It takes what we leave. It hides our secrets. It knows the wisdom of working in the dark without rushing, without fanfare. If we listen well enough, it is the soft mountain of evidence that no one is alone, that we are this together, kicking and crying, feasting and fooling, until we are still. And long, long after that.
That's a good note to end on. Thank you, Petaluma. Deep, deep, deep.
Well, dear friends, on that note, all together,
Yeah.
here we are. Thank you. You know, for me, these meetings just are sustaining for me to connect with each of you, to feel that we can pray together beyond the walls of our home, beyond the towns we live in, beyond the continent that we are part, you know, that we're situated on, that our prayers reach so far and wide, and together I hear your prayers, you know, and I feel like we make really good medicine together. So thank you so much for joining us. We'd like to dedicate, and I would ask everybody to go on gallery view. But we'll do it in a couple of different languages because we have so many good friends. But just before we do it, again, thank you so much. If you were not here, this would be a little different. So your presence makes this be what it is. You know, so thank you for your contribution of great heart, prayer, breath, and, you know, this holding this beautiful place that we meet.
Sylvia and then Oliela and then Wally and Arya.
Okay, fine. So Abraham, if you'd heard, he suggested that Sylvia
por favor, en español.
And then he suggested Aliella
And then
in
Aliella
Hebrew,
in Russian.
in Russian. Yeah.
And then Wally and Ariane can
You can do any in. Why don't you do it in your language of choice?
and we
and
all
then-
will sing along, but we'll be muted.
We'll do English
Yeah.
after. Okay. So
Sylvia. Por favor.
thank you.
Que todos los seres estén bien. Que todos sean felices.
По-русски, пожалуйста.
Да будут счастливы все, да будут все блаженны. Мир, мир, мир.
And Ariane and Wally.
We only know it in Russian and in English. And you're the host, so we would like you to do it in English rather than us. That's okay.
Okay.
Okay, fine. May
all
beings be well. May all beings be happy.
So everyone unmute and we'll do peace together. Take a breath together. And to you all. Salam alaikum, everybody.
Thank
you.
you all very much.
All beings be well, all beings.
Ya Shakur,
Shakur. Love to everyone. Love to all.
Love, love, love,
The
love.
Russians.
Love, love. Thank you, Petaluma.
Mir, mir, mir.
May the ripples keep rippling.
Shalom lekulam.
Thank you, friends. Thank you for those who
Shalom.
shared today. Thank you.
Love to everyone.
Goodbye. Good afternoon.
Gracias.
Yes.
Thank you, Ali.